Instead of complaining about how Tone is the most overpowered Titan, let's take a look at how you can better counter her abilities and play smarter against her. Most players that I see just seem to blindly rage the Titan instead of taking the time to understand the fundamentals of how she works, where her power comes from, and how to deny her value whenever possible. Tone's 40mm cannon honestly just doesn't do all that much damage in comparison to other Titan weapons. The real source of her damage comes from her tracking rockets, so our goal then should be to dodge those as much as we possibly can. We know that it takes Tone 3 hits with the 40mm cannon to acquire a full lock, so all we have to do is count the number of times she hits us and use our defensive abilities appropriately. Just count every single 40mm shot. It's that simple. Well, it's kind of not, but it is, if that makes any sense. Ion's Vortex Shield, Ronin's Sword Block, Legion's Gun Shield, and Scorch's Flame Shield are all sort of the bread and butter abilities to counter the rockets directly when you're counting them, but every Titan can natively dodge this rocket barrage with a well-timed dash straight to the side. It's not an ideal solution, of course, but if you've got the dash available to you, I can hardly think of a much better way to use it in the middle of a 1 versus 1 engagement. Dealing with these rockets, even when using the counting method, is still not a perfect solution. In breaking with Titanfall 2's core design decisions, and I'm looking at you right now, Respawn, Tone has multiple kits which change the ways in which she locks onto targets with no visual and very few to no audio changes coming along with those kits. For example, here's what I'm trying to say. Take a look at these two Tones side by side. Can you tell me which one is going to fire 2 extra rockets at you and which one is going to get double locks off their sonar pulse? Which one has a buffed up particle wall and which one has double locks from critical hits? Speaking to the double lock-on abilities in particular, it's just not possible to consistently count and predict when that earliest possible salvo is going to come out at you. Versus a really high-level Tone player, they're not going to fire the rockets on cooldown 100% of the time. They're going to try to play games with you and make you waste defensive abilities or dashes trying to preemptively dodge these rockets. They are in complete and total control of your body by forcing you to position in ways that you can dodge those rockets, dodge salvo cores, mitigate the number of 40mm locks you have, while also at the same time being in total control of your mind, since you have to focus pretty much all your attention on dealing with her, counting 40mm shots. If you're fighting against 2 Tones, good luck trying to count the number of locks from 2 separate Tones at the same time. It just becomes such an emergent threat when a Tone has you in her sights that you have to focus everything on dealing with that in ways that other Titans don't force you to do in a lot of situations. Sometimes they can, like a Ronin with Sword Core in your face or a Scorch in your face, maybe, but in a lot of ways it's just not as oppressive as Tone is in general. It's not as consistently overpowering. With Tone being pretty much impossible to predict, extremely difficult and unintuitive to react to, and having the best defensive ability in the game in combination with the best core in the game and top tier offensive ability in general, what can we do to play around her and punish her for the decisions that she makes? Let's take a quick look Titan by Titan. We'll start with my boy Scorch. One thing that I see actually nobody taking advantage of is the fact that Scorch's barrels bounce off the walls and ceiling. They don't hit the walls and then fall straight down doing nothing. They arc back off to a small degree. The moment you see a Tone positioning her particle wall next to a tall building, your immediate reaction in a lot of cases should be to actually aim your barrel high at that wall, then immediately shoot your primary at that same exact spot. The thermite from your primary is going to fall along with that barrel, the incendiary trap, and it's going to cause ignition as soon as it lands. Using this method, you're going to very easily turn that particle wall into a hazard for Tone as opposed to a benefit for Tone, and she's going to take some big damage. You can use this to charge her and punish her with everything that you've got while she's out of position. This honestly isn't as easy as it sounds, but when you get used to it, satisfaction is pretty much guaranteed. Next, we're going to complain about Northstar a little bit. The normal particle wall will eat a fully charged railgun shot with only a sliver of health remaining on the wall. Decent. I think it's good that Northstar doesn't just kill it outright in a single shot. It's probably better for the overall health of the game in general. Versus the reinforced particle wall, it takes 1 fully charged shot, along with a shot charged for 3 audible clicks before being destroyed. This is a lot less bonus health than one might expect the particle wall to have when using this, reinforced particle wall kit. But it's still a big time investment for Northstar to work through by herself. In a 1 versus 1, you've got to just run away as Northstar and keep your dashes handy to evade the flurry of tracking rockets coming your way, because trust me, they are. Early on in LTS rounds, though, I sort of think that in some cases your job as Northstar is actually going to be to call out an enemy tone for your team to just work on, spike down that shield, and kill it the moment that shield drops. There's no sense waiting to pling somebody with your railgun. Just do your team a solid and just kill the wall, man. Like, that's all you really gotta do. My main problem with Tone as Northstar, and to a lesser degree as Scorch, is actually the height of the particle wall, and hear me out on this one. I know it sounds weird. The particle wall is so tall that Northstar is completely unable to shoot Tone from over the top of it. Well, that's not totally true. There is an exception. If she's nearly point blank, then sure, she can fly and technically kind of shoot over it with both her primary and the cluster missile, but who cares? Like, you're never going to be in that position, and if you are, you're already dead to Tone. Your only job as Northstar is pretty much just to shoot that particle wall and be a good little helper, at least until the Tones are taken care of. Ronin is, well, map permitting, I should say, actually an amazing assistance to a team plagued by enemy Tones. A single arc wave will destroy a particle wall, whether it's using the reinforced particle wall kit or not, does not matter. If the startup frames on Sword Block weren't so slow, I'd consider calling this a hard counter to Tone, but it's probably one of the closest things that a team can pull. In LTS, I wouldn't recommend that you use both Northstar and a Ronin on the same team to deal with Tone players. I'd go for either or, since both have their strengths and weaknesses for dealing with Particle Wall. Their strengths don't overlap, while their weaknesses do. They don't make that great of a team in my experience thus far. Double Arc Wave may be the way to go here to deal with a lot of particle wall spam, but again, it's map dependent. If you're on Blackwater Canal, your only viable choice in my opinion is going to be Northstar. Tones are going to sit on the bridge, and there's just no way to get an Arc Wave to that location without dashing way out of cover and losing your Ronin in the process. Sword Core does mitigate this greatly because of the blocking mechanic, while using Sword Core just blocking so much damage. But necessitating the use of a core in order to take a particle wall down is questionable at best. At least you can phase dash through tracking rockets without much problem, as it's got an instant startup. Legion is not quite as good at dealing with Tones as people make him out to be, in my opinion. He's very good, but he's just not this godly Tone slapper like a lot of people on Reddit kind of make him out to be. Take a look at some of the clips here and see just how much ammo, and time especially, it actually takes Legion to power through a particle wall all by himself. In a 1 versus 1, he honestly does struggle. Slow speed and only a single dash makes evading rockets difficult once your gun shield is down, which honestly is only going to be blocking a single salvo of rockets anyways. To be fair though, I'm really underselling how good he is in full team LTS matches where people are actually going to be focusing down the particle walls from time to time. If a Northstar gets a railgun shot into a wall and you polish it off as a Legion while you're pushed really far up, you've still got a lot of hurt left in your ammo belt to share with that scummy Tone player. If you're using Hidden Compartment, you've also got a lot of burst for him as well. Or her, rather, sorry. In the Tone versus Tone matchup, I don't have much advice other than to try to just sack up and drop your wall second whenever possible. It's all about timing and positioning. Wait for that Tone to drop their wall, then you dash in, you push up beyond that wall, and then you drop yours and you cement your position down, and you are pretty much guaranteed to win that fight, even if you take a couple of bars of damage in the process. This was pretty much the meta of Titanfall 1, Atlas with 40 mil and particle wall versus the same exact loadout, where you would try to hold onto that wall for as long as you possibly could. You would take some damage to your shields. As soon as those shields dropped, then you would drop the particle wall, and whoever was able to do that second oftentimes would end up winning the fight in the long run. Ion has got to be either really aggressive or really passive here. You can't play in the middle. You got to choose one. Either you just trade primary weapon damage and block all the rockets with relative ease while keeping a distance, or you get in the enemy Tone's face and splitter lens the crap out of her while counting rockets and praying that you don't mess up your vortex reflex or run out of energy unexpectedly. Basically, just pray you can get lucky and end the fight before Salvo Core comes online. As much doom and gloom that people spread in relation to Tone, you've got to understand the fundamentals of how you can perform better against her in your own Titan. Knowing is half the battle, so study up and you'll get crushed a lot less often by Tone players while becoming a way better Titan pilot in the process. Thank you all for watching, and I hope that this video has been informative to you. If you've got any other strategies for dealing with Tone, we'd all love to hear it if you could just share it in a comment down below. Thank you for doing your part to help out the community, and I'll see you in the next guide. Take care.